We're not here to make up the numbers, we're here to compete as well. This squad, with the power they have on their day, they can do anything they want.
Hello and welcome to the Glassgirls network with me, Jonathan. I'm here today for the first time ever. We've got a player on the channel, which is absolutely fantastic. Meg Hadley, how you doing, Meg?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. After watching you just win Leafield in the cup, fantastic game, fantastic achievement to win a very tough team. Just before we get into the topics of today, just talk to us a little bit about that game, because it was a very tough game, wasn't it, to win in extra time, but we got through.
First 15 minutes, it was very hit and miss. It's always the same for Stour. I don't know what it is. First 10-15 minutes is always go out there, give it your all, but it's a bit messy. You know, it takes 10-15 minutes to adjust into the game properly, and then we got into it. Obviously, Sarah scored, phenomenal goal. Fair play to her. And it was just a messy game. Fair play to Leafield for giving up the ball, really.
Yeah. I think the same. Whenever people ask me away from Stourbridge, oh, do you think we stand a chance of winning, or do you think this, that and the other? I always say, if we can get, we being in Stourbridge, if we can get a goal in the first 15-20 minutes, we'll feel comfortable. But it's just getting that first goal, isn't it? And thankfully we got it today, but it was such a tough game, and I think me and a few other people here, players, coaches, fans, have said that's our most difficult game of the season so far. You know, would you agree with that?
100%. Credit to them. Like, they've come out here today, they've given it their all, and they've just showed us basically what they're about. Which, you know, we've got 2 league games against them. One's the last game of the season, I think, something like that, and then the other one's
soon.
God knows when the other one is. Yeah, soon, sometime soon.
Yeah, no, it's exciting because Leafield is just one of 3 or 4 teams who we've got challenging us for promotion this season, and you know, Leafield have done a fantastic job today, and I wouldn't be this happy if, you know, if we went to penalties and we lost on penalties, but I am happy because we just about scrapped the win in the last 5 minutes. But it was a great game today. If you were neutral, and if you've been listening to us on Swiss Radio, or if you ever get a chance to watch any highlights that may go out at some point, today was a great game for women's football, and 2 teams really went at it, and thankfully we come out on top. I think we deserved to be on top because we had the most possession, but it was very difficult. So to win today was great, and against your old club, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, my old club 2 years ago, back there. Yeah, it was nice to see the girls as well. Like, obviously some of them I know.
Yeah. Who did you know? Who can you remember from the old days?
Laura Broadbent. Who else? Beth Cole.
Yeah.
Anna Gallimore. No, a few of them really. Like, they've not massively changed. They've just brought a lot more players in with a lot more squad depth. Like, when they turned up today, I was like, blimey, they've brought a few people. But yeah, credit to them. Played well today.
Yeah, absolutely, and they did. I mean, they could have quite easily won on penalties. I don't think they would have quite easily won in the 120 minutes because I think we were the best team. But quite easily they could have held us to a draw and then scraped it on penalties quite easily. That could have happened, but thankfully it didn't. And now we can progress and look forward to the FA Cup and look forward to the league as well. I want to talk to you a little bit about your history. So, done a bit of research as I tend to do, and thankfully in the environment that we're in, I get to know a little bit about like the clubs that you've played for in the past. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that, about some of the managers that you played for, some of the teams that you played for. So you've been through a lot. You've been through a few teams. You've been through a few sports as well. So before you even started football, am I right in thinking that you've played tennis? What else have you played? I'm sure I've got a list somewhere, but I can't remember them. What were you doing before football?
So I played rugby before I started playing football. And then Dad was like, no more broken bones, can't do this, you know. He obviously played rugby himself for many years, and he was like, I don't want you to go through the stuff I've been through. So backed me into football when I was about 10, 11, I think first signed for Inkborough ladies, well, the young team, but it was a great starting point and great coach to start with, you know, my life of football really. I really enjoyed it at Inkborough, and then went from there on to Blues, which was very eventful in all honesty, but yeah.
So you spoke about Blues there. Obviously everyone who knows me, who's probably watching this, knows I'm a Man United fan. Back in that day, Marc, the current Man United manager, would have probably been linked or associated with Man United in some shape or form, with Birmingham,
Yeah.
Can you remember ever having any interaction with Marc Skinner at all back in your day?
Yeah, so I was about 14 at the time, 13, 14. Marc Skinner came in, you know, sort of proved himself. He massive, like one of my favourite people going in the football world. Like honestly, great guy. I remember playing and he was so supportive, like all the time. There was no negative attitude towards anyone. It was, you know, keep going, you're doing this well, you know. It was constant positivity, and that's what you want as a child going through, obviously, bit of emotional times and whatnot. So it was a really good starting point. Credit to Marc, because I honestly loved him. Great guy.
It's great, yeah. Everyone who knows me knows I love Marc Skinner, and you know we're fortunate in women's football. We get to chat to managers and players after the game. Obviously, it's not always in this kind of scenario, but like in the WSL, they'll still come over to you after the game. They'll say hello. They'll have selfies with you. They'll listen to you for a couple of minutes. And you know, Marc Skinner was there. I remember Marc's birthday last year. We managed to hand him a birthday card. Where was we? Was it West Ham away or Tottenham away? One of them. We handed him a birthday card, and we got a chance to speak to him there. And that's the environment that we're in with women's football. And I've always heard so many good things about Marc Skinner. And even today, your old boss, Leafield manager, said some very positive things about him. Marc Skinner's family members have said positive things about him for the last 12, 14, 16 months. I've been chatting to them, so it's lovely to hear, and it really is nice for me personally to link Manchester United into Stourbridge, where I hear all these nice things, which is great to do. It really is great to hear. So you've been at Birmingham. Where did you go from Birmingham?
So I went from Blues, I went to Villa.
Okay.
I go to Cov. Blues to Cov, I think it was. I was at Cov for about 6 months. And they said to me, like, make a decision, because I was ice skating at the time, going very far my ice skating. And they said to me, they were like, you decide, you either play football and you give up ice skating, or you give up football and you start ice skating. He said, you know, there's going to be one decision or the other, you can't do both. Obviously my dad disagreed massively with it. I left Cov. I didn't enjoy it there. 6 months I was there. I took 6 months out and played for. I didn't even play for a team. I just did curver coaching, which was honestly best thing I've done. So
talk to us a little bit about that, because that's probably like a word that comes off your tongue quite easily, but a lot of people won't know what that curver coaching actually is. Just kind of give us a bit of information on what that is.
Curve coaching is like a skill set place, so they work on your 1v1 ability, your 2v2s, 3v2s, all the rest of it. They put you in positions that you don't want to be in on a pitch, but will make you improve on those sort of things. Marc Skinner was actually also involved in that. We played, when I was at Blues, we played curver coaching Norway, maybe they've got a team, I think it was Norway.
Scandinavia,
yeah, and filmed some footage on there. It was ages ago, about 7 years ago, but it's part of that as well. He talks about the women's side of Blues, you know, the academy and whatnot. Honestly, he's just a great guy, and to be involved in curver as well was just a great environment to be in.
Fantastic, yeah. So after Coventry, was that Cov United, was it, or Coventry City, or Coventry?
I think it was Cov City at the time.
Okay.
Cov United now, aren't they?
There is a Cov United, yeah, they're like independents. So after Cov, where did you go from there?
So I went to Villa. So I took 6 months out, worked on my skill set ability and whatnot, going forward, and then got offered at Villa and Albion and Wolves, I think it was, and maybe Leicester as well. There was a few clubs, went for a few trials. Obviously Blues not my confidence, got released when I was 11. So that was a massive setback in my time. I think I went back into football second year, obviously with Cov, and it just wasn't the same. From there I went obviously on to Villa, signed for Villa, played a year there, played up front, played literally everywhere I could have on the pitch. Katie Wilkinson was actually my manager, lovely person, great baller as well. She was good, positive. Obviously she was young at the time when she managed us, but brought a great impact to the team, you know. Obviously Thea used to play for Villa as well. I think Zoe used to play for Villa. You got a few others, Levick. So everyone's been at Villa really, but yeah, it was all right. Villa. I just didn't enjoy where I was playing, position-wise really, and that's why I sort of left.
Was you playing more of like a number 10 kind of up front kind of?
Yeah, number 10. Did not enjoy it.
But you see yourself more as a defender, full-back, wing-back, that kind of role?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but even now, like, people all around me I can't deal with. It's to the side, to the back, like literally.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you play number 10. So fair play to anyone who does. Yeah.
Excellent, yeah. Well, you've certainly settled into fullback kind of role at Stourbridge. So from there, did you go on loan to Leafield, or did you go to another team before you went on loan to Leafield? Where'd you go?
Left Villa when I was 12 maybe, and then went on to play for Blues again, 2 years at Blues, which was an achievement because obviously a lot of setbacks and whatnot, being dropped, kids at school like, oh, you know, been dropped, but now I stepped back up, you know, improved my game. Villa obviously helped me a lot with battles that I was trying to achieve and whatnot, and then went back to Blues 2 years, did not enjoy it at all. Lee Gardner at Albion said to me, he was like, I'll get you in an Albion shirt one day, and I was like, okay. Didn't think it was ever going to happen. Signed for Albion. So I was at Albion for 2 years.
Team that you support?
Yeah, team support. Literally absolutely buzzing when I signed for Albion. It was either Albion or Wolves.
Yeah.
My dad's obviously an Albion fan. He was like, you are not signing for Wolves. So for me it was, okay, we'll sign for Albion then. So obviously Lee Gardner got his wish.
Yeah.
But yeah, second year of Albion, broke my ankle in the September, 14 minutes in against Derby. Absolutely killed me. I was out for about 4 months. It was terrible, and then came back from injury, and sort of it had just changed massively, and it wasn't an environment I enjoyed to be in anymore. You know, Lee left, a few other people left, management had changed over a lot more, and I spoke to Aid obviously at Leafield and just said, I'm not enjoying my football at the minute, I might give up. And that's when he said to me, why don't you ask if West Brom will loan you out? Asked them and they said no. And then I went from there to Leafield on a 7-day transfer. Played, I think it was the final 6 months for them, and then COVID hit, so absolute nightmare. COVID hit, and then 2 years out pretty much, wasn't it, football? So fitness was hard to get back after being out for 2 years, especially with like the sport you love. And then yeah, came to Stour, got offered at Cheltenham, and decided to start my journey at Stour. I think they're a great club, like honestly, such a family club to be at. The girls are amazing, managers are amazing, everyone, even the fans, like there's so much positivity and there's so much drive from the management. They always literally will try their hardest to make sure you're performing as much as you can on the pitch. So honestly, credit to everyone at Stour, rate it highly.
So much to discuss there from what you just said, but so obviously we'll talk a little bit about Stour towards the end. I want to talk a little bit about Leafield. Obviously you mentioned the manager there who I've met for the first time today, who I think fantastic guy, so I want to give him a bit of a shout out as well. But you did mention a little bit about like a few struggles where maybe you've like been on the bench or things might not have been worked out for you. Without going into too much detail, I mean, how did you kind of respond to that? Because you obviously had ability. You obviously had ability because you're in the National League now. You've done really well. You've got a supportive family, and you obviously had confidence in your own ability. But I suppose, how did you bounce back from some of those occasions where you've been in some of these clubs and it's not kind of landed for you? Because it's worked out okay now. So you know, but how did you kind of feel at the time, and also how did you manage to bounce back?
It's weird because like a lot of my mates that were at Blues especially gave up. You know, Josie Still, phenomenal player, destroyed her confidence, and she never played football after that. Honestly, she probably could have been the next big thing, like fair play to her, but knocked her confidence massively. I absolutely love her, she's class. There's a lot of players, academy's really confident, it's real, like a shame. Obviously a lot's probably changed since I've been at Blues, Villa, West Brom. Albion wasn't a bad place to play, like I enjoyed it at Albion. It was more so coming back from an injury where I've been out for 4 months, struggled with college as well because playing football for college, trying to get back into the team, you know, 2 good squads, and after being out for that long, it's so hard to get back into a team that you've been out for so long, and people are performing, you know, you expect them to play over you. You're not just going to come back into a team, rock up and everything's going to be perfect. It doesn't work like that, especially in football. I say my biggest knockback was Blues when I got dropped when I was 11. Literally, it felt like the worst day of my life, to be honest. But I came back, Dad said to me, like, you know, you can't stop here, you've got to keep going. Put me into Cov, and I thought, you know what, I'll give this another go, because at the time I did think, I love football, but do I just give up, do I stop there? But a bit of me just knew I wanted to play and couldn't give up yet, because I was still so young, and I literally had so much I could have done in regards to football. But yeah, Stour, love it.
I'm I could talk about Stour all day, and we probably will towards the end of the show, but just talk just a little bit about your time at Leafield, then about the manager that you worked under, about working for a club that's predominantly like a women's setup. It hasn't got like the might of like Albion or Villa, where they've got a men's team back in them. Just talk just a little bit about your time at Leafield then.
Leafield, I loved it. I've known Aid for many years, probably about 11 years now. So I'm comfortable around him. He's a chill sort of guy, you know. He expects a lot from people that he knows a lot about. Daisy, obviously his daughter Daisy played for him at the time as well. She's gone to America now. Phenomenal footballer as well. He's a great guy, great manager, and even when COVID struck, we were outside. You know when there was that social distancing sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We were doing sprints, everything. It was literally like fitness. We were doing HIIT classes.
That's good.
Oh, it was an intense time, but like fair play to him. He knows what he wants fitness wise, and he'll get it. And like today, they've come out and they've proved themselves again. And absolute credit to Aid, because you know they probably wouldn't have been where they are without him.
Do you see similarities then between Stourbridge and Leafield? Because from what I've seen of Leafield today, from all the things I'm hearing, of all the teams and all the clubs that I've seen us play against in the last 14, 15 months, Leafield is the one where I can turn around and say their setup is kind of like similar to us in regards to what you just said there, like fitness wise and things like that. Would you say it's kind of similar to Stourbridge, or are there similarities?
There is, yeah. There's, I think aspiration wise, there's many similarities, because Aid's a very competitive guy. He knows what he wants and he'll chase it. And same here, Mike and Andy especially, they know what they want and they'll try the very hardest to chase it. Like sometimes we'll rock up on a Thursday and they're like sprints, got to do sprints today, and we're like, oh no, not today. Just before the FA Cup match, obviously on the Friday it was the FA Cup match, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was the Tuesday or something before. And he was like, girls, you're doing sprints today, fitness. Oh, we were like, nah, not today, like this is not a good time. Obviously a few of us felt it on the Thursday evening before the match, and we were a bit worried because legs sore and whatnot. But it's a great thing to do, and it's good to start in the league we're in now, because say we do, hopefully, fingers crossed, go on and progress higher into this sort of league and industry and whatnot, you're going to need that fitness. And from a kid, like Blues were the same, fitness. Every other week at Blues we'd run 2.5 kilometres, 5k, 12-minute Cooper runs, everything. So I think it's a good thing to get into, and it's a lot of American things, clubs do in America as well.
That's good.
So yeah, it's good.
You can't argue with the NWSL. I mean, what they do in America is second to none, isn't it? They're born winners, they're born fighters, they're very physical, they're very fit, so you can't argue with that. You've been at a few clubs, obviously with Stourbridge now. How happy are you with Stourbridge? What makes Stourbridge stand out compared to any other club that you've been at? Passion.
Everyone's a family. Whether you're under 12s, first team, anyone, any age group, everyone supports each other. If we don't have a game, we'll watch someone else, or some people go and watch the men. The men support us. It's just such a family club to be at, and it's so great to be a part of. And the journey that we're on, it's phenomenal. To think we've been promoted twice already in 2 years. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy.
How far can this journey go?
I don't know, but I'm glad I'm a part of it.
It's really weird for me. I had no idea, and I've said this numerous times, I had no idea when I started following Stourbridge women's team about 14 months ago properly. I had no idea that we was going to get promoted again. I had no idea I was going to build friendships with Andy. Obviously it helped because me and Andy followed each other on Twitter, and he's a Man United fan, so that obviously helped, and he brought me to the club and he invited me back to meet you guys. But it all kind of links into what you're saying, that family environment, all bending over backwards to help each other, whether or not you're a coach, you're a player, you work behind the bar, or whether or not you're a fan, media team, Switch Radio. We all
crazy,
support
everyone
each
knows
other,
each other. Literally, you walk into someone, you're like, oh my god, I know you. Where the hell have you come from?
I've got my dad here today. He's just left, and I want to speak to my dad because obviously he's come here to spend time with me. But then I'm seeing Aid, the Leafield manager. I want to speak to him. I want to speak to you. I want to speak to Andy Fisher because obviously he's the boss. I want to speak to my friends. I'm seeing other people who come in. Just everywhere I look in the room, I just want to speak to everybody.
Everyone knows each other.
Everyone knows each other. Everyone cares about you. There's not any bad words. You never hear any like slight digs or anything. And it's fantastic. And there's a hashtag Stour family, and it really is over here, isn't it? And have you ever seen another club that's like so close together?
No, never. Like honestly, obviously been at clubs before, and it's very different. Academies are very different on a whole, you know, you don't get the whole social and whatnot anyway, but here is just, everyone knows each other, it's crazy, you know, you just don't expect to see so many people, even like injuries, like Zoe Clark last week, everyone was so supportive of her injury and when she went down, and phenomenal footballer as well, but everyone was behind her and everyone supported her as much as they could, and like fair play to everyone who did. Yeah. So I love it, absolutely love it.
Just quickly before we shoot off, because obviously we want to celebrate the win today, the rest of the season. So I remember Andy Fisher saying at the start of the season, we're not here to make up the numbers. Obviously he was talking about the league there. We've just won a cup game today. We've got a cup game next week against Peterborough away. It's going to be tough, but it's a game that we can win if we play at our best. What are your thoughts for the rest of the season?
So like, it's going to be a long season, especially if we go far in the cups. And we can't take that lightly. I don't think for a minute we can sort of just take a foot off the gas and go, oh, we can have a chilled week. We can't do that, and it will never be that way, especially at Stour, which is great. I think it's hard to say. It's so like early on in the season still, and obviously we're still in the cups. Dependent on how next week goes, especially, I think that will have a massive impact on what happens within the rest of the season. If we continue to progress on into the next round of the FA Cup, then that means we're going to have to play a few more games than what we were meant to play. It's about the same as last year though, really, isn't it? Like,
long season, 36, 37 games I think last season.
A ridiculous amount of games last season. People were pulling up with injuries, you know, strenuous. People aren't used to it. You know, you come into a team and you don't expect to be playing nearly 40 games a season, especially when you've had 2 years off.
Yeah, good
Come
point.
back and you're like, DOMs, everything, body's gone, but yeah, it's a good team to be part of, and like you said, it's a massive family environment to be around. But league-wise, I think everyone's hoping we do win the league. But we've got to stay humble. I don't think we can go out there and think we are the best, because there's going to be teams we play this year and they're going to give us a good challenge. Leafield especially, you know. Like I said, we didn't take that lightly today, and it was a struggle to get the win. Fortunately, Lindsay Glover, last few minutes of the game, got us a goal, but I don't think it's going to be an easy league. It's a bit like the Championship, really, to be a part of, because you never know who's going to win the league. But hopefully we can. If we got a triple promotion, I don't know what I'd do.
I need to get a new flag back to back.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I think only one club, from what I'm aware of, has done that, and that's Southampton. And I think that was during the COVID time as well. So I think Southampton have got promoted 3 times on trot. But I think one of those, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I think one of those was like a COVID kind of thing. So it was kind of like stopped, but they still got promoted. I think it was done on like points or something.
Did they not walk out? To go up?
Yeah, last season. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
So yeah, they've obviously done really well. But apart from that, there's no other team that I'm aware of that's got promoted 3 seasons on the top, which was absolutely amazing. And I think people need to jump on that, because if it was that easy, everyone would do it. But they're not even close.
People just need to come down and support. Honestly, the more support we get, the more fans I think we go off like fans and people coming down. It's like energy. It's like.
We get people all over, don't we? We get people from Brighton coming up. We got we've got families. Yeah. Anthony's come up today with his son Tyler. It's true, but I think that's also a credit to. This is a different conversation, but I think this is also a credit to the club, your managers, your chairman, yourselves, your players who interact with all these players. Sorry, all these fans who come up and make time to support you. Yeah. You make time for them as well. 100%. And I think that's a credit. And I think some players who might join Stourbridge, whether it be next season, this season just gone, they might not be used to this, because they've come from other teams who probably haven't got as many passionate fans. And you know, me, Anthony, Andrew Wall, you know, we're Man United fans who are very passionate. We jump on every tweet that Man United put out. We jump on every Stourbridge tweet that we put out. And you know, some players might not be used to that, but obviously that's the way we do things, and that's the way we support our club. And it's good that Stourbridge players, coaches, barmen, everyone, chairman, they all welcome us into the home. And I think the way that I'd like to end every podcast, the fact that the family, or the family that Stourbridge have got, is second to none, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why you're probably happy here, because it is a massive family. I mean, would you agree with that?
I've never known a fan support like it. Like, clubs I've played at previous, you get like 10 people come and watch, and it's like, oh, brilliant. You come here and it's like, that game, who was it? I can't remember who it was against now. 500 fans.
Massive.
Was it
Lincoln recently, or can't remember?
It wasn't Lincoln, it was last year, the FA Cup. Who was it?
Sheffield.
Sheffield Women.
Yeah.
The amount of people came down here, that was unreal. Peterborough next week, they've got a massive crowd. To think how many people will probably be there next week is phenomenal. They had 2,000 that Friday night, didn't they?
Yeah, massive. I saw that a bit.
Wow, they're at home as well, and obviously the men are away, so to think how many people will be there will be ridiculous.
It's great, and outsiders generally don't know what's going on at this club. If you're an outsider, you have no idea what goes on in this club and how close we are. And okay, it's fantastic that the chairman backs Andy Fisher. It's fantastic that Andy Fisher's got a coaching team who are all UEFA qualified, who know what they're doing, and they've recruited correctly in regarding players.
Yeah.
And obviously they've got very passionate fans. But even down to the media team, we've got some of the best photographers here with that, with Focus done, Anthony done. We've got Switch Radio here, we've got fans who are here day in, day out. If we could afford it, we'd be here 7 days a week spending money and buying you guys drinks, but obviously it's not that easy. But we have everything, we've got the best in class, and that's what we strive for. And I remember doing a podcast with Richard Clark a few weeks ago, and he described Andy Fisher as someone who doesn't just settle, he always wants more. And I think that's the mentality of the club, isn't it? We always want more.
He pushes us to our maximums, and fair play. He's honestly, the energy he brings to the girls is phenomenal. Yeah. Mike as well. Mike is the brains behind everything. He's just a genius, isn't he?
He is.
Honestly, we come into a training session, he'll be doing this, and we're like, what? But he's just so good at what he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Fish is a great manager as well. People don't like Stour as a whole. Don't know why, but every team we seem to play, we're upset. But fair play to them all. They're doing a good job.
Absolutely. Look, thank you very much, Meg. I really enjoyed chatting to you, and congratulations on today's win. Thank you for joining us today. I'll be there next week at Peterborough away, FA Cup. Hopefully we get another win, a bit more money under the belt, and put that towards next season as well. It's a great position to be in. Thank you very much, and we shall see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.